Hi, this is Kimberly Clark. I am at the Comedy and Magic Club with another episode of Behind the Punchline. We're gonna get behind the punchline, y'all. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received in your career? I would say one of the best pieces of advice I ever received was from George Wallace. I had to follow him at the Improv. I was performing at the Improv. George Wallace went up, felt like he did 30, 40 minutes. Followed him. I did okay. But I spoke to him afterwards, and George told me, he asked me actually, he was like, how much do you get up? And I said, I get up as most as I get up, when I can. And he said, get up as most as you can. And so that was the best advice I've ever gotten, like one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten. Get up, get the stage time in, get up as most as you can. Uncle George, that's what he said. Get up as most as you can. So that's the key, just getting the reps in, getting stage time, always writing. Get up as most as you can. What's your secret to connecting with your audience? It's all about being yourself, being vulnerable on stage, sharing experiences that you have in your life, because we're all humans, you know what I mean? So talking about embarrassing things, I think people connect with that. It resonates with people. Saying the things that you can't normally say at work or at the dinner table, you say it on stage, and people love that. That resonates, So I think that's the key to connecting with your audience. Just being relatable, being real, and saying the thing that's obvious, but you're actually saying it, whereas in real life, it's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna keep that to myself. All those keep that to myself moments, that's what you write down. And when you do it on stage, people are like, wow, and it connects, it resonates. Who's the funniest person you've ever met and why? Funniest person I ever met was my Aunt Virginia, my mom's sister. She is hysterical. She should be a comedian, actually. She loved Richard Pryor, actually. So I never really got to watch Richard Pryor specials growing up. I watched his specials later in life because I wasn't allowed because of the dirty language. But my aunt used to always quote Richard Pryor, so I would quote the quotes that she quoted of Richard Pryor's comedy specials, which is kind of funny. But she's hysterical on her own, just naturally funny. She did hair in Detroit. Yeah. What's your favorite comedy special of all time? I have so many, but one that sticks out a lot for me, and I'm going to say one that a lot of people don't normally say, is Mark Curry's HBO special. Mark Curry hanging with Mr. Cooper, the masses know him as, but his HBO comedy special was like one of the funniest. Oh my God, he's physical, he has great material, he does crowd work. I mean, Mark Curry does it all, and I feel like he's very, I don't want to say he's unsung, but I don't think he gets mentioned enough. But yeah, his HBO comedy special, definitely one of my favorites. Every time I see it, I laugh very hard. What's the strangest thing you've seen happen while performing live? Yes. So LA used to have a knitting factory in Hollywood, and Knitting Factory is like a music venue, but they also did comedy shows too. So when I was starting out, I did a show at the Knitting Factory. Somebody actually got punched during my set. Like I heard the fist connect to the body and heard the body go down in the middle of my set. It was wild, to say the least. Yeah, I don't think anything's really topped that. If I think hard enough, I probably could think of something, but that's definitely a standout crazy moment. How do you come up with new material for your acts? Lord, I need new material right now. You know what? I like to come up with things organically, like in conversation. I mean, sometimes I sit down and I do write. I'll look at the news. I'll study current events and things like that. But I try to pay attention to things that I say to my friends or family, or to a cashier even, that makes them laugh. And I write it down, I record it, and then I try it on stage. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But usually those jokes are the best because they were born out of an organic moment. And so sometimes you can recapture those moments on stage. Sometimes you can't, but it's great when you can. So I definitely like to get material. I don't want people to feel like every time I talk to Kim, she's probably mining for jokes. Not necessarily, but I am mining for, if you laugh, I'm paying attention. So.
How long you been playing here at the Comedy Magic Club?
I think it's been, what year is this? 2025? I think I started here in 2023. Arsenio invited me to do his show. I think that was in 2023.
Yeah.
So I did Arsenio
yeah.
and Friends, yes. And that was amazing. I met Arsenio for the first time at Flappers. He came by for Jay's show. And I got to meet him, got to talk to him. You know, of course, he knows Tiffany Haddish, and so we got to talking about that. And he was like, well, you need to come to the Comedy and Magic Club. Arsenio is always giving me advice whenever I see him. You know, he was telling me, he was like, you really need to get out and be at the clubs and show your face. And so ever since he told me that, I definitely have been a little bit more visible and, you know, hitting up all the clubs, you know, not just here, but the Comedy Stores, the Laugh Factories, and just hanging out. Even if I'm not performing, it's always good to just be in the mix, because you never know. So, yeah, but first time here, Comedy and Magic, was Arsenio Hall, yes.
And this is the first time you're opening for Jay here at Comedy and Magic Club.
Yes.
How is to work with a legend such Jay Leno?
Jay is amazing. I work a lot with Jay at Flappers in Burbank, so we already have a rapport. So it was kind of funny when he saw me in the green room. He's like, oh, you're in my neck of the woods, you know? So that was really cool, and just an honor to actually be here with him. You know, he worked at this club while he was still at the Tonight Show, always coming here, working his act. And yeah, it's just great to just be able to host his show here. So he's great and full of advice too. He's always good. He even gave me a tag for one of my jokes. I was like, wow, you actually listen to me? So that was cool.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
And you know that we love you here at the club.
I love it here. I love y'all. Thank you.